Kickstarter campaign that Robert and I did for our Fund My Castle book. We are working with a company that taught you how to write your book and raise the funds to write it. There's a nonfiction book on funding legal fees to save your home, raising money to buy a home or paying off, and then 9 backers. So we wanted to raise $500, and 9 backers pledged $1,000 in 30 days to fund the first leg of our crowdfunding. This is an institutional standard crowdfunding platform, and there was a little video that we made. Now, why am I showing you this? When we talk about the crowdfunding, 2 levels, this is a standard level. So this shows you our story, the pitch. You don't have to, but I just want to give you an idea of how you're going to write your story or what the standard crowdfunder format is. We're going to take it to a little bit different. Here's the story, how the French have used crowdfunding to refurbish their castles. Now you can learn how to fund your home with our how-to book to fund my castle. And then I have a link to a little video. And that's the story. That's the history of crowdfunding. This is what my book's going to be about, how to use the program. So this will give you an outline of some ideas. Here's the different ways you can use crowdfunding and what the content's going to be. Who we are, there's a little picture of Robert and Teresa. There's a video at the top of our story. There's promotions. So this is the standard way we were taught on how to build a crowdfunding Kickstarter campaign. So if you come in with $5, you get an ebook. If you come in with $10, you get an ebook and a live stream video. If you come in with $25, so I'm giving you an idea of how to build a standard crowdfunding campaign. We did it little because they told us to do it. Don't ask for $100,000. Ask for a little bit and then watch it run. And I'll tell you a little bit more. So this is a standard crowdfunding. Now here's the reward side. So if you come in with $100, you're going to get 3 books and a live stream video, an online class, and Q&A participation. Okay? Now I'm showing you this because you can have a campaign to raise funds for a very specific application and give them access to things that you want to sell just for funding in your crowdfunding campaign. Then I brought in 2 books, Free Trade and Money is Love. I even have a little YouTube video created for it. And then, of course, Jay Abraham, How to Get the Money for Your Great Idea Startup or Expansion, What to Do If You Can't. Now, you see how I already started selling virtual programs? And here's the breakdown. So there's going to be a 20% cost for my crowdfunding fees. There's going to be a backer fulfillment cost, a design cost, and formatting costs. But here's the breakdown. Cost for the $500 goal. And then I write this cute little story about what we're going to need it for and what our challenges. Now watch this. This one I had fun with. Since this is our first book, we want to be transparent and honest about the risk. By setting a $500 campaign goal, we try to limit the risk knowing that $500 we can produce a bare bones book. When it's funded, then we just have to write it. Now, depending on the amount that we collect in additional funding over and above the $500 goal, then you determine the quality, value, and the future participation in the success of our book and its effect on your and our future in the Fund My Castle book. So although we are optimistic, there are always unseen diversions, setbacks, and deadlines, equipment problems, health issues, I need a vacation days, earthquakes, we are in California. So I just put some fun stuff in there, right? Because we're co-writing the book and have 2 minds that must meet as one, getting it written and a copywriter to support that will be our biggest challenge. Additionally, compiling success stories to teach how to do it. So I made a bunch of different reasons why you should fund me. In essence, this 30-day campaign is our test to see we have never done it before, and that could be a risk. And when we have our first students, successful home funding, blah, blah, blah. Okay, here's what they taught us, and this is the lesson of all that. I designed this as a way to promote my business, Fund My Castle, teaching how to raise funds to own your home debt-free. This was just a vehicle for me to generate leads. Crowdfunding, the crowdfunding platform we're going to show you is a similar thing, but I wanted to show everyone, and here's what they said. The owners of Kickstarter said, your backers are going to come from people you know. So where do you think the $1,000 came from? They told me, don't start with 25,000, start with a low amount because we want you to build the herd mentality. What that means is when they see you want 500 and then you got 1,000, and then it just takes off because everybody sees it, that it must be a good deal, and that's why they fund. That is the logic for crowdfunding today, is if a bunch of people start backing it really quickly, then everybody will jump in and back it. But in reality, that's not what happens. In fact, most crowdfunding platforms are not successful because creating the herd mentality is not a simple process. Many times crowdfunding is used, well, crowdfunding has been used for anything, and it's now a strong desire. Let me tell you how we got started, or what Robert and I do together that we've done for the last 30 years. We've become very active in the court, lose their homes to foreclosure. And we know that there's a new wave of foreclosures coming. So in 2008, when the foreclosure crisis hit, many people lost their homes, not because they didn't pay their mortgage, but because of the collapse. And that collapse is happening again. And so you're going to see Dr. Zhang's story. And Dr. Zhang was someone that was referred to me, and I just felt so compassionate for him because he's a very honest doctor. He had a young daughter and was doing a prototype like I'm doing here. And I took in 12 people that I was going to help save their home or get their home back, or negotiate something with the courts or through the courts or with the lenders. And but Dr. Zhang was a little different. His attorneys told, well, first of all, his home that he bought, beautiful home, in that home, that's the home in Las Vegas we're going to share. We're going to do a crowdfunding piece for it, and it's Queensbrook Court, so it's Save Our Queensbrook Castle. But Dr. Zhang's story was a little different from everybody else. First of all, he was successful in his practice. He's a podiatrist that helps seniors in senior care facilities. He has a great humor. He does jokes with the seniors, and you'll see that in some of the videos I have about him. But the market, I think he paid about, $900,000 for his home. He had bought their first home, sold it, took the profit and put it into the new home. The price of the home dropped from $1 million down to $300,000. And in that state, the difference, they could come after him for the difference against his practice. That's the laws in Nevada. And he went to some attorneys, and the attorneys told him, just walk away from the house. And so he moved out. And one of the neighbors' friend was a mortgage broker, and he said, let me move in and I'll help you renegotiate the mortgage. And he said, but you have to take me off of, you have to put me on title. Now, these are all legal terms. In the end, what happened is he lost his home, was liable for $1 million that he didn't do anything to cause it. And the cost to try to get it back was impossible. And this is a really nice man. And so I said, well, look, come in. I don't know how to do it. It took me 2 years to figure it out. We got the house back. We it's been 10 years. We now have it in a position where we can raise the money and own the home outright. And that is our crowdfunding process. If you go look at Fund My Castle, that's what that book started from. And it is a book to teach people how to save their homes from foreclosure, get it back, own their home out with no debt, or buy a home. And that's how it started. What it's going to turn into, who knows, because you just see how Teresa's mind just proliferates. But with all that, that's my Fund My Castle book. That's why when Mashonda showed me what we're going to talk about, this crowdfunding platform, I saw it as a way to raise $1 million in probably 90 days. with some creative tools that we learned from Business Mastery. Dr. Zhang, as my partner, funded every one of the programs that we did as part of our campaign. So when I aligned with Mashonda, it was because I went through all the programs recent, so I have a model to teach everybody else how to be successful. So if you want to raise $10,000, we're going to show you how you can do it very quickly. And if you want to raise money ongoing, how to use it. If you want to raise $10,000 to go to Business Mastery, and we teach the story of what you want to do, the bigger picture, now you have some passion in with the crowdfunding piece.